Hi there, students. Brass and brassy. Okay, brass is a noun and brassy is an adjective. I guess you could even have the adverb brassily. Okay, brass, the basic meaning of this, it's a metal, but it's made from a mixture of copper and zinc. It's an alloy. It's normally this sort of golden colour. Yeah, so you could have a brass door handle or a brass door knocker. Yeah, and then you could use brass as well to talk about the instruments in an orchestra that are made of brass: the trumpet, the saxophone, the tuba. Okay, and this is the brass section. Okay, now brassy, the adjective of something that is made of brass. Yeah, a brassy yellow colour. Yeah, this sort of yellowy orange colour. Okay, so brass. If you say somebody has a lot of brass, they are completely confident. They lack fear. I don't know how he has the brass to do that. Yeah. And you can use this word brass talking about to be brave, to be bold, to have the brass to do something. Yeah, he's got a lot of brass. Yeah, he's very brave, or even a foolhardy or impudent way of doing things. You've got a lot of brass to talk to me like that. You've got a lot of brass to say those things. You could also use this word brass to talk about, in the military, to talk about the officers, high-ranking officers. Yeah, very often the brass. Yeah, the brass are not going to like this. The brass gave him a medal. Yeah, normally military, but not necessarily. The top brass, the most important members of an organisation. And I guess as well, brass, you could use this to talk about money, but it's a bit old-fashioned. It reminds me of the phrase, where there's muck, there's brass. Brass here talking about money. So let me just go through the meanings of brass, and then we'll go to brassy. Okay, so brass, a mixture of copper and zinc. It's a metal. Yeah, normally the bullets, the casing is made of brass. Then if somebody has a lot of brass, they're very brave, or they have a very foolhardy attitude, or they're even a bit rude and impudent. Yeah, I don't know how you have the brass to do that. And then the top brass. Yeah, the top brass in the army say that this is what's going to happen. You could be brassed off as well. I'm a bit brassed off today. Phrasal verb meaning to be annoyed, to be a bit upset. He brassed me off. He upset me. Okay, so now let's try brassy. Well, a brassy colour. But very often we use this word brassy to mean cheap and flashy, cheap and showy. Yeah, so everything in the restaurant, it's really brassy. Yeah, it's flashy. Almost, it's got this idea of insolence as well. Okay, so brassy, loud and unpleasant for a voice. Yeah, his brassy voice. I could hear his brassy voice from next door. Or decoration can be brassy. Yeah, or a brassy man or a brassy woman, somebody who speaks and laughs too loudly, who dresses in bright, cheap clothes. Yeah, she was your typical brassy blonde. And then brassy, having complete confidence in yourself. This goes back to brass being brave. very often in a way that shows lack of respect. So very often salesmen are rather brassy. Yeah, a fearless journalist who was rather brassy and asked brassy questions. Yeah. The decoration in the house is very brassy. Yeah, it's doesn't have any taste. It's rather tasteless. It's rather unpleasant. Okay, so brass, a metal. Brass, money. Brass, the top in the military. Brass, bravery or insolence. I don't know how he has the brass to do that. Brassy, bright and shiny. Yeah, tacky without any real taste. Oh yes, and brass for the musical section in an orchestra. Yeah, not the woodwind but the brass. Okay, and then brassy, shamelessly brave. Yeah, he was a brassy reporter. Okay, formality. Let's see. Brass the metal, 5 in formality. Brassy the colour, 5 in formality. The top brass of the organisation, 3.5 in formality. He's got a lot of brass. He's very forward, very bold, very shameless. 4 in formality. A brassy blonde who's very ostentatious and rather tacky. 4.5 in formality. Okay, now we need to go to the origin. Okay, this word brass comes from Old English, brais, meaning brass or bronze, maybe related to Proto-Germanic brasnaz, meaning brazen or forward. Yeah, it's probably related to brasso, a fire or something like that. So, enough. If you enjoyed the video, give it a rating, subscribe to my channel, and I'll see you soon. Bye for now. Brass and Brassy.